Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be part two, so if you haven't watched part one, you might want to watch that one first, just so you know what's going on. But this is just the second half of installing the drains and the water line to from the shop to the house. So, and then I'm going to give at the end, I'm going to give an update on the state of the porches on the stamped concrete, because I had somebody ask me and I forgot all about it. So I will show that at the end as well. So let's continue. All right, just a quick, I was trying to, today is the day after, it's the 5th, July 5th, and we were having some big storms coming through, and I didn't bother to even grab the camera. I left it by the computer after I took all the footage off of them. So I just wanted to get a quick shot. So I got this is the drain. This is for the gutter drains. I've got clean outs on them. Pulled up their tape. They put it so high up, they just threw it in the hole. I'm not done hooking that up yet, but that's kind of the gist of what's going on there. So no clean out here needed. This will be where the pad is, so that's all under concrete. So it worked out well. That has to be brought up to the height of that box right there. So that's all good. And I've marked it because now I'm gonna dig right here and run the water line. It's gonna go about to where the bucket of the Yanmar is. That's where it's gonna cross, because I want it underground, obviously. So, and I was threatened with rain all day, and I only got about 14 drips, so it was great. And it could happen again, but it's not the end of the world if it rains now. But I'm going to get this filled in just in case, so we don't have a muddy mess. All right, well, I guess I could get some of the filling up. I'm not going to go too crazy because I don't feel like switching buckets. They're not that far away, but they're far enough away. And I need this bucket again next. I get my 4-foot grading bucket on, it'll be a little easier. I could use the skid steer as well, but I just worry about it raining, so. Get on the other side of that. Let's just go across. That's small enough to go across without having to jump it. I'm leaving those markers in there just so that I know where they are when I dig the water, which will be in a day or so. Sink a little bit. Leave it built up and I can drive on it. kept this far enough back so that I would be able, because I had to jump the ditch to get, you know, I had to cut it with the ditch underneath me, so I had to jump back over it, and I needed enough room so I didn't hit the dirt wouldn't be in the way, so to speak. Well, you get the idea. Hey, what do you know? It works. I literally I couldn't even finish, as you can see. I was almost finished and it started to pour, and it just kind of brightened up a little bit, but just wanted to make sure it's working. Not that I didn't think it wouldn't, but it's always good to do that, right? All right, the rain is over, and I'm thankful that I didn't keep digging this out from under the lean-to because of all that. We got over 6 inches of rain over the night. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring the dump truck over. I'm going to get the skid steer, and I'm going to take out a bucket width area of this millings so that I don't waste them. And this way I can put it back over and compact it afterwards. And I am going to dig this. I'm going to dig this up, kind of laid out the pipe just to get an idea of the direction that I want it to go. And this worked out well. This worked out really well, getting that drain in just in time for that rain. And I just went and picked up some more, got some more pipe, give Big Tex a chance to stretch its axles a little bit, because I still have the pipe on the smaller trailer, so this was kind of overkill, but it's easier for them to load it on this one anyway. And I'm ready to get this unloaded and get this thing. I'm so sick of doing this now. It was just like when I was doing the siding, which I still have to finish the under the porch parts, but I had to get this part done. So I've got the box here, as I talked about before. It's open. I'm gonna come out probably somewhere to around here, come out 45, and then the good thing is this 1.25 inch bends. You can bend this a little bit. You don't have to be, unlike the 4 inch, which does not bend. So there's the box, and all the plumbing inside is done on both sides. I have a feed that goes in there, and I have a feed that goes in over there, so the 1.25 inch runs all the way around. So there's 2 separate feeds, so I'll have good flow and pressure. Got my spigots in, so time to get to work while I have a little bit of sun that isn't here yet. So it'll be here. The shade will last for probably another hour. So like I said, I'm gonna dig this up right here. I'll dig up close to the box with a shovel, and the rest of it dig with the Yanmar. All right, got my line painted. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just so I don't have to keep spinning around. I kind of kicked it this way just to get it straight, because for a future project, I'm gonna tee off and put a box over where the box is there. So I'm just gonna run that over there, continue down this way, across the culvert, and over to there. So I'm going to back this dump truck up about where I'm standing. I'm going to put the bucket back on. I just moved the trailers around to get them out of the way. Easy. And now I'm going to put the bucket back on, scrape up these millings so I can reuse them. All right, now that's my line, so I think that should be enough. We shall see. I don't even remember how deep I made this. just don't want to scrape up any dirt with it, or as little as possible. Check the air in the tires. Used this truck in, I don't even really remember, about a year probably. It's kind of tucked away in the lean-to, so you got to do a lot of vehicle shifting, so sometimes I just decide against it even if I wanted to use it. Down to it. That was deeper than I thought. Meaning the dirt, the rock was deeper than I thought. To get in that one, dirt-wise. It wasn't rolling in, so I didn't know I was there yet. I think the general would have been a little happier. You'll get to see the roller in action again too, so. Alright, well you get the idea. I got a couple more and that'll be it. I got a little bit more out of here too. So I figured I would just, so nobody said, how come you didn't get that bit? Yeah, that's better. Alright, I'm going to try leaving the windshield open if I can. It's pretty humid, but I'm going to try because it looks better on camera. So I got to gradually get deeper. I don't really want to transition it down, and that area is going to get filled up to the top of the box. So I'm going to transition it down, but right here I'm just going to keep it a little bit shallower than I'd like it to be. Just, I don't want to make too many transitions on it, because that puts a lot of friction loss on the pipe. Again, we got some good material here. Yeah. I'm gonna do the rest of that with the shovel. I'm probably going to get out and do each stick as they go, so I know where the T will be, because I don't want to have to cut one. I'm going to put it right where the T is going to go for that future project. I almost wish I used the 18-inch bucket. I mean, it's less getting down in the hole. Once you get the pipe in there, you don't have anywhere for your feet to go. And this one obviously doesn't have to be pitched, so this one I'm going to get down to about 2 feet. Here, most people only go 6 inches. It's kind of crazy, but I'll bring it down to 2 feet. I'm almost there. All right, so there's the transition out of the valve. Came out a little less than 3 feet. A couple of 45s down, tilted it a little bit to get it going in the direction I want, and now we're good to get down to my 2 foot 30-inch range, and from there it'll just go right across. All right, I'm at the junction point. I already marked it, and of course I get to where this is the tree line, so this is where all the roots are. So I got down there, I cut them with a clipper, and now I'm gonna come back and dig that last, just because otherwise I gotta track either over the ditch or all the way around, so it'll be easier just to be on that side, and then I could fill everything back in and not have to jump the ditch. I gotta be careful over the ditch here, not to go, I gotta come up a little bit, because I don't want to hit the, and I'm going to start filling this in. I'll grab some more material from my pile, but I got to make sure I don't hit the pipe. And I kind of want to get some of this topsoil over here anyway, so this stuff will grow. I am going to put some riprap on it anyway, but That's the best way to do that. Gets it nice and straight, nice and flat.
I don't really want to be right on top of the pipe either, because the pipe is obviously hollow, which will let air come in. Remember the signs, bridge freezes before road surface. So we don't need our water line freezing over that. So I gotta, like I said, I gotta have a happy medium in here. Well, you get the idea of what I'm doing there, so I'll pick it up when we get closer. And this way, if I hit the pipe, you won't see it. I missed a little bit with the skid steer, so I'm gonna doze it up a little bit with the Yanmar. I'll grab it with the skid steer before I get there, because I don't want to waste that. A little bit of dirt mixed in with it, but not too much. That was a little more dirt than I would have put in there, but I don't need to waste any of the stone. Some big roots over here. Closer, almost there. Once I got past all the roots, it's a little bit better. Gotta make sure I make my turn right over here. Climbing up the hill too, which doesn't help my grading, my dragging. That's all right. Some nice material here. Not to have it spill out too far. This is where I can't drive backwards. I just have to do it the old-fashioned way. I gotta be careful because I'm getting into the roof hitting territory when I go to get under there. Alright. Again, I gotta pay attention. think what I may do is put the dirt behind me, because I still need to get in. I still need to get in this side. Put a little more on that corner. Again, I can't see around the corner. The good thing about dirt, you can always put it back. You can take it out and you can put it back, so it's not like once you dig it too far, you're screwed, so to speak. Alright. Nice thing with this machine, the boom pivots. Get on different angles, which you can't do on big machines like the 250. Does not pivot, so you can do things that you normally can't do. All right, now I'm over by where I need to make the T for the future project. And we're back in Rootville again. If you remember, I took all these trees down to make this crossing. Out to, as you can see, all these stupid roots. They make it very difficult when you're trying to dig. Probably have to do that 3 more times. All right, I'm back in. I mean, these roots are just unbelievable. They're always right when you don't want them. Not that you ever want them, but it's always when you're trying to do something that you certainly don't need it in there for. See? And then what that does is it knocks down a whole bunch of dirt after when you hit the roots. Look at that. I mean, look at that mess. So I gotta cut those. All right, I'll show you. You got the idea.
All right, here we are. So there's the box. There's the shutoff. This will be a future project that we'll talk about later. And that's there. Again, you want this is pressure pipe, so it has a bell end on it. You want the bell end so that the water flows into the bell, so you don't have a lip. So here we go. This went all the way around nicely, aside from the roots that were there. Turn around, you already saw that way. So I just got all the piping done. It's about a little after 5 right now, and I'm gonna let this, you only really have to wait 15 minutes, but let me hop over. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow, just because it's 95 degrees and humid, and I've been out here all day. I don't feel like it. So there we are. And the nice thing with this 1 1/4 is it can make the turn without having to put fittings. So just a gentle turn right around, and there it goes. So all right, well, we'll pick up again tomorrow. We'll put some water to it and then fill it in. All right, well, the 8-year-old valve that I put in, well, I put the brand new valve in 8 years ago, and I was worried it wouldn't turn, and it did turn. So let's see. I'm doing the farthest one away. I bled the air out of it with the other one, which I forgot to get the camera for. So there was about 30 to 40 seconds worth of air and a lot of junk. So you're going to get glue and all kinds of stuff coming out. So that's why I like to do the farthest one away first. So all right, well, that's good. All right, checking all the connections, which always very confident that those aren't going to leak. You know, it's different than like with PEX or something like that where you got, but these pressure pipes are very good. So just checking it again. I'm going to go around with the shovel. If there's any low spots under the pipe, I will fill them in before I actually push the dirt in. And that also helps to keep it in place so it doesn't get moved from one side to the other, because where it is right now is where it wants to be. So let's make a quick run up, and then I will get to doing that, and then I'll put the camera back on when I'm filling it back in. I got to remember that wire's there, so I'm careful when I backfill that. And there we go. I'm happy. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of filling it back in. I got the windshield closed because it's pretty warm today, and I'm already sweating because I filled in most of the trench not by hand, but I filled it around the pipe. So I've got this future project box. I just have I'll show you after. I just have a tote. I've got a tote over it. I was going to switch over to the 36-inch bucket back again, but it's on the other side. So
And I need to have the 18-inch bucket on when I go underneath the lean-to, because otherwise I won't fit between the wall and where the dirt is. Might as well do it the easy way. Problem with that is it's not all from that same area, so I could be a little bit short of dirt where it really needs to be somewhere else, but at least it'll get the majority of it. Roots in the ground. I'll leave it high, this way I can go back and compact it. I'm not liking the look of the darkness over there. Flatten over the trench one time. Made it to the corner. Gotta be careful right here. We're getting in striking zone. And see how we are back here. So this is working out nicely. I can fix what's behind me. Like I said, I'll be able to get the general out. I'm gonna compact. I'm not going to compact the ditches like the whole way down, but I'm going to compact this area where the stone is going. I'm going to hit it with the skid steer first. This is the part that's a little tricky. You gotta watch too many things and a lot of glare off the windows. Once I get inside, it won't be as bad, but you got a lot of obstacles over here and not a lot of room to swing. Like I said, I'm gonna get more stone anyway. too much about it. This end didn't have a lot to begin with because I ran out of it. And it needed to be built up because every time it rains, this end holds water. Hey, there goes my glare. I may have to open the window though. Unfortunately, I put the fan on high. Be better for you, not better for me, but I can't see. See, this is where I'll get carried away. That's about as high as I could go. So far, so good. As long as I don't try to move farther than I should, I'll be all right. All right, I'll shut it off. I'll turn it on when I get closer down to where it's going to be harder. Should have left my platform in here because there's barely any room to get at it. Starting to fall in the ditch. See, if this blade angled, it would be much better. Really want to push all my stone up like that, but I also don't want to do this by hand, which I'm going to have to do some of it anyway. That's easy to pull down. Alright, well that's about all I can do. That's about all I can do with this. Back blade a little bit of it. There you go.
right, this came out pretty good for one pass. I'm going to bring the skid steer in here and just fix this end down here because I can't get this dirt out. I can scoop it out with the skid steer. I should have never left that in here. But anyway, so this is that bit. I used all that dirt as you saw out front, so I have to bring some around. That's no big deal anyway, so I will do that. But yeah, I'm back in business, so I can get my stuff in here. All right, this came out nice. Under here, I brought the skid steer in and took out that platform. I just have to get a rake and just pull that back, but this is all nicely compacted and slicked up. I'll bring some around for that. This is going to get stone over it, but it's good for now until I can do it. So let's do a little bit of fixing up over here before I put that stone down, and call this one a wrap hopefully soon. Alright, gonna be a little noisy because I got the air conditioning on and the window closed, but just try to fix this up a little bit, get this compacted. I'm gonna run over it a few times. This is all gonna get stone put back over it, but I want to compact it down. Slick this one up. My goldfish brain. I don't want to do that part yet, but I can't help it. Gotta be careful over here because that pipe's not very deep. I have to add material. I've got it marked over there so I know where it is. You catch a grass clump and that's what it does. It makes a mess. More material in here anyway, but like I said, I wasn't even planning on doing this now. everything under here is all slicked up, ready to go. I'm gonna get the roller out tomorrow, but I'm gonna get the old poor teaspoon. I'm gonna get that unburdened. So I unburdened by what has been. Who is that? Shouldn't even use that word. I'm gonna dump this here just to get this out, because the roller is right there. I don't know if you can see it, but I have to get the general out, which is no problem to get that out, but the roller would not like that big drop. So I'm just gonna drop this off now and get this spread out, and then tomorrow I'm gonna roll it, and then I will be done, because that looks nice. If you can see it over there, I'll show you tomorrow, but I gotta get this going. All right, so there you go. 4 minutes, spread, back. You don't even know it was ever done. I'm gonna roll that tomorrow, and I still need to get more stone, because this needs, that whole area out there needs stone. But first things first. Let me show you quick over here, in case we get some big washout, because I didn't have time to compact it or put riprap on it yet. So I'm going to take the Mini over here and pack this down, and then I'm going to put riprap. I'm going to dump everything I dumped out on the dam. That was the broken up concrete for the porch. I'm going to put it here and on that side. So I've got to do that, but at least this is kind of the shape that I want for it. Bing, bing, bing. That'll be done. That's all set. Everything's pitching away, so we won't have water running down over it anyway. And it'll run around that way and go to where it's already established. All right, one more thing tomorrow. I'll get the roller on there so you can see that, and then that'll be it. All right, roller's out. Gotta roll that, but first thing I'm gonna do, now the sun's coming back out again, but I'm gonna do under here first. I got that all hand filled in down that end, so I'm just gonna do this quick and then pull the stone back, hit that. Again, everything that was dug up was in the center of whatever everything drives, so I'm not gonna squish it down by driving in there. So then I'll head over and do the rest of that. I'm just gonna get a little bit of it, not too much. Video, that is. All right, well, this part I got to get a little more down this end. This end was always low right here anyway, but like I said, I'll probably fill a little bit more in with that, but this whole thing is going to get stone eventually when I do the whole thing, so I'm not going to go crazy. And there's a horse trailer in the back there, the teaspoon parks back there, so almost everything back there is not really, I'm pointing up at the roof. I took the head cam off. Sorry. So most of everything is, let me make sure there's no, so the stuff that's back there really doesn't get used much anyway. So I'm gonna move that in because it looks like it's gonna rain. And then I'll head over here. All right, so there you have it. Everything but the skid steer is in, because I still need to do something with that later, but you can see how everything gets tucked in here nicely. This came out well, So got the horse trailer all the way up front, teaspoon, the tractor, the Yanmar skid steer goes here, and it still leaves room back here. Usually I take the implement off, I'll just bring it in, but I can bring it in with any of them on it really, so because they're not very far away and the other ones are over there. So here you go. I mean, you really can't even tell it was done. That stone worked out nice. I rolled it both ways. Still got to do a little bit more over here. The swale and everything, because I'm going to be tracking on that with the Yanmar to compact that and put the riprap. So I didn't go too crazy over here, but I want to get this, since I'm doing this on the end. I had somebody ask me, what happened with the porches, the front porch and the back porch? So it is as done as it's going to be. The person who finally fixed it did as good of a job as he could possibly do with what he had to work with. So it's not bad. He did a good job. He put where all the buttons would be, painted all the joints. They did all that by hand. It's a little bit dirty now because we've had such rain and wind, so there's sand blown on it. You know, that one spot right there did the best they could. The color's a little different, a couple stamps in there that's not in the right place. This is where the fire pit is going to be, seating, so that looks pretty good. And let's go through to the front and I'll show you the front. So he did this nice border. Now, had the last guy been the first guy, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So here's the front. I've got some siding. Must have been windy because I had leftover pieces that will fit in those areas, and now they're blown over. So there you go. I mean, we've been sitting out here a little bit, but looks, like I said, it's dirty now, but that's it. So it's as good as it could be. I did take money off quite a bit for everything that I did and for what they didn't do, but it's you know, it is what it is. In 100 years it won't matter either way, will it? So all right, well, that's about all I have to say about that. So again, as usual, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.